Hello, I'm Matheus Parizi. I'm a filmmaker from Brazil. We're very happy to be here at the 11th Noida International Film Festival with our film Instructions for Crying, which in Portuguese is called Instruções para Chorar. The idea for this film was because of things that I was going through personally. And I was during a period, there was a period in which I was going through quite some sadness in my life. The film takes place during a session of therapy, of psychoanalysis, with a very unusual kind of therapist. And it's in a way it's a tragic comedy, you could say. It's dealing with disgrace through a lens of irony. And I wanted to talk about technology and about what the future of mental health could be like. I wanted to make a sci-fi. So all of those things together. So it's quite autobiographical, but also topical. It's also dealing with the fires that we have in forests in Brazil, so it's dealing with deforestation. So it was a bunch of things that I was paying attention to. We shot this during COVID, and we needed to have a very small crew. It was very synthetic. It was the smallest crew I've ever had, and I took very serious all the measurements for health, to prevent that people had COVID. It was still a thing here in Brazil, so it was, and it was completely, it was less than low budget. It was a micro budget one. We financed it via Kickstarter. I didn't want to wait for film funds, even because we shot this during the Bolsonaro era in Brazil. So our president was, a fascist, and he shut down the Ministry of Culture in Brazil. So waiting for funds, especially when you want to make a film that is critical towards things that are going on in Brazil, waiting for funds for that would not, it would be a no-go. So, and plus, part of the crew was here, because the main character, who is a photojournalist, he is in São Paulo, but he's dialoguing in one part of the film. He's dialoguing with a friend of his who is an indigenous Auê Chavante from the Abelhinha indigenous village, which is in Mato Grosso, and we couldn't even travel back then, so with a very small budget, so we had to get very creative. Each of us played many roles. I was the art director, I was my own assistant director, the producer, and all of us played many roles. We really shot the script, I would say, and if anything, the difficulty was that we wanted to shoot the script. We didn't want to compromise. So when I wrote the script, I already thought it for one single location, one single lead character. So then, Tell us about the target audience of your film. Well, I would say it's like 30s to 65, kind of like champagne left wing, but just circuit the people, the cinephiles, the people that like to go to movie theaters and stuff, and people that like sci-fi genre, like comedy, people that are into comedy. That's really the audience for my film, and people that are really into issues related to the environment, to indigenous community, mental health. Mental health is the big theme of my film. It deals really with quite pressing topics, both very personal and psychological, and very sociological and political. And emerging filmmakers, I would say, there's different ways to make films, and you should try them all. Go for making films with funds, get better at writing for funds, write for for things that you really just can't shoot with a cell phone and friends. try and make different films. Yeah, try to think films in a different way. Be aware of the resources you have. When you have very few resources, obviously trim down characters, trim down locations, trim down the timing, because you want to make the best film you can with the resources you have. But experiment with many resources and many formats. So this is it. I hope you guys at Noida have an amazing film festival, an enriching moment of film culture, and make lots of new friends, and that you have a very special festival. Thank you very much.